Open your banking app. Go ahead, picture it right now. The number is bigger than it was 5 years ago. Maybe a lot bigger. You got the raises. The title changed. The apartment picked up an extra room. The car got quieter. The groceries stopped being a math problem at the register. And you feel exactly the same. Still a little behind. Still bracing for something. Still doing that quiet arithmetic at 11 at night about whether this month actually works. The income went up, and the feeling didn't move an inch. Here's the strange part. This isn't a you problem, and it isn't a willpower problem. In 2025, Charles Schwab asked a couple thousand Americans a simple question: how much would it take to feel financially comfortable? The average answer was around $839,000 in net worth. To feel actually wealthy, $2.3 million. But look closer at who answered what. The people who already had more didn't ask for less. They asked for more. Older, richer respondents set the bar higher, not lower. The target moves with you. You walk toward it, and it backs away at exactly your speed. So the real question was never how much you make. It's why your brain, every single time it gets more, drags you right back to not enough. There are two reasons, and both of them are older than money itself. The first one has a name: the hedonic treadmill. Back in 1971, two psychologists, Brickman and Campbell, noticed something about people. We adapt to almost anything. Good or bad, the feeling fades, and we drift back to wherever we started. A few years later, in 1978, Brickman and two colleagues went looking for the most extreme test they could find. People who had just won the lottery. Life-changing, never work again money. And here's what they found. After the first rush wore off, the winners weren't much happier than anyone else. The thrill faded. The extraordinary became ordinary. They got back on the treadmill and kept walking, same as before. You already know this feeling, even if you never gave it a name. The car you wanted for 2 years. You finally get it, and for a few weeks it's glorious. Then one ordinary Tuesday, it's just the car, just the thing you drive to work. And your eyes have already wandered to the next one. In your bank account, this wears a more familiar face. People call it lifestyle creep. It's not some separate force, it's the same adaptation, just with a price tag stuck to it. The raise lands, and your fixed costs quietly rise to meet it. A bigger place. One more subscription you forget you're paying. A nicer phone folded into a bill you stop reading. The new normal swallows the raise whole. Same person, nearly double the salary 7 years later, and the savings account has barely moved. Which raises the obvious question. If this keeps hurting us, why does the brain allow it? Because there's a second reason, and it cuts deeper than the first. Your brain doesn't measure rich with a number. It measures it by comparison. In 1998, two researchers named Solnick and Hemenway ran a survey that people still talk about. They handed people a choice. Option 1. You earn $50,000 a year, and everyone around you earns $25,000. Option 2. You earn $100,000, and everyone around you earns $200,000. Read that again. In the second option, you have twice as much actual money. And about half the people chose the first one anyway. They'd rather be poorer in real terms, as long as they came out ahead of the people standing next to them. Half of them. Let that sit for a second. Now, to be straight with you, for income specifically, it was roughly half, not some crushing majority, and the poll was even stronger for things like looks and praise from a boss. But the bones of it hold. A huge part of how rich you feel has nothing to do with your account and everything to do with who you happen to be standing beside. You can feel perfectly fine about your salary right up until a coworker posts a photo from the Maldives. Nothing about your life changed in that half second, but the ruler moved. And that's the whole trap. The measuring stick for enough was never in your hands. It's held by the people around you, and the people around you keep climbing. So here's where most of us land. Fine, if more money stops helping after a point, I'll just earn past that point and be done with it. And there's even a famous number for exactly that: $75,000. You've probably heard it quoted at a dinner table. Below it, money buys happiness. Above it, money stops matching. That came from a real study. Kahneman and Deaton, 2010, more than 450,000 people. Serious work. Except that number turned out to be wrong. In 2021, A researcher named Killingsworth went back at the same question with sharper tools, and he found no ceiling at all. Happiness just kept climbing, with income right past 75, past 100, past 200,000. Two findings, flatly contradicting each other. So in 2023, the researchers did something rare. They sat down together and worked it out on purpose. And the answer they landed on is this. For most people, more money genuinely does keep making them happier. There's no magic plateau. That old flattening only ever showed up for a small slice of people who were already unhappy to begin with. Sit with that, because it makes this worse, not better. It means money was never the villain here. For most people, more of it actually helps. So why are you still standing there, measurably richer than you were, feeling broke? Because having more and feeling like enough are two completely different machines. And they do not run at the same speed. Your paycheck feeds the first one. But the feeling of enough runs on the second, adaptation and comparison working together, and that machine doesn't care about your absolute number. It only tracks the gap, the distance between where you are and where your brain has decided you ought to be. Your income climbs, and your brain spins that climb emotionally before you ever get to enjoy it, resetting the baseline, remeasuring you against the neighbors faster than the money even arrives. So you can be genuinely, provably richer and feel exactly as poor as you did before. Both clocks are ticking. They're just badly out of sync. Why would a brain come built this way? Researchers think, and this is a careful guess, not a settled fact, that for most of human history, feeling satisfied was a losing bet. The ones who sat back and thought this is enough got outcompeted by the ones who kept reaching for more. So the wiring that survived to reach you is the wiring that never quite settles down. That restlessness you feel staring at your own perfectly decent life, it isn't a defect in your character. It might just be a very old feature running in a world it was never designed for. You're chasing a finish line built to back away the moment you get close. So open the app one more time. The number isn't your enemy. The ruler in your head is. And you can't throw the ruler out. That wiring isn't going anywhere, not in your lifetime. But you can outmaneuver it. 2 moves, each one aimed at one of the 2 machines. The first move fights adaptation. The instant a raise hits, before your life quietly expands to swallow it, move a piece of it somewhere you won't see it. Automatic savings. Automatic investing. Set up once, so it happens, without you ever touching it. And understand, this isn't about going without. It's the opposite. Your brain adapts to whatever stays in front of your face. So you take the raise out of view before it becomes the new normal. You never adapt to it, which means you never miss it. And now it's quietly turning into an asset instead of a memory. That's not deprivation. That's catching the money before your own brain can eat it. And to be clear, this is an illustration, not personal financial advice. What actually works depends on your income, your costs, and your own choices. The second move fights comparison. How rich you feel comes down to who you're standing next to. You can't touch anyone else's salary, but you have far more control than you think over the window you look through, the feed, the neighborhood, the circle that quietly decides what normal looks like for you. Choose that window on purpose, instead of letting it choose you. That feeling of not enough, it kept your ancestors alive. It isn't a villain. It's just badly out of its time. You won't switch it off, but every single time you put the raise away, before it hardens into the new normal, you win one small round of a race, whose finish line is still quietly moving. So here's the only question that really matters. When was the last time you actually felt like you had enough? And what changed right after?